What's going on, everybody? This is Lemon Drop 14E, and here I am with a new painting tutorial. It's actually a new old tutorial. So right here right off the rip, I want to remind you guys to hit like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you have questions, leave a comment. We will do my best to answer them. So, as the title states, we are doing a lightning tutorial. Now, if you guys are long-time viewers, you will remember I have done this before, but I've been playing Forza Horizon 4, and I kind of wanted to redo some of my old tutorials, but with the newest version of the game. So, here we are. A lot of the strategies are going to remain the same, but some stuff's a little different. Not a lot, but just a little bit. So, here, let's jump right into it. First and foremost, we are outside while we paint the car, which I didn't realize, but that's fine. I feel like before when I was practicing, I wasn't outside, so I'm not sure what happened there. Doesn't matter. First and foremost, we're going to go ahead and give ourselves a little bit of a base to go off of. Now, since we're doing lightning, I think black typically is the best. So let's go ahead and lay down a big black block. And you can see there, there's some odd cutoffs from the top of the car and the side of the car. You can see like under the side mirror where it has like that spike or point or whatever. That's kind of a goofy place to paint, so we're pretty much going to avoid up there. And we might get up behind the window, I'm not really sure. But everything that's black right now is the side of the car. So we got our big black layer down. And I always use the standard stuff here. I know a lot of people can make their own, and I mean that's cool. I don't really do that, but we're gonna grab this lightning here, second row, third over. This one is my favorite to go with because I feel like it's shaped in a way that you can really transform it and really spin it around and get a lot of different shapes out of it. So what we're gonna do, we're going to start the lightning on the side here. And what I typically do is I will zoom way in here. And I will take my lightning. And I kind of went past it, but I just sort of roughly shaped it out to try and give it a little bit of a shape that I'm looking for. So I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. So I'm going to go ahead and spin it around. And get the part where it starts and put it right here behind the wheel. And actually, I'm going to do a little more like that. And now, when we have it where we want it, we're going to use this exact same vinyl. So I'm just going to hit the Y button, and that stamps it down. Now we can move this, and we have an exact copy right where we dropped it. We're going to be doing that a lot. But if you're new to painting, get used to doing that because it's a really big time saver, and it's super simple. So, also, with the lightning, you don't actually have to alternate like different vinyl shapes. You can use the same one like I am here. And what I did, I just spun that around. And I'm just trying to find a place on the original vinyl I put down where this new one will like kind of mesh very well. As you can see, it meshes very well right there. And if some of the old vinyl, I'm sorry, the first layer you put down crosses over your new one, that's okay, because you gotta think in real life there's not a lot of rules as far as lightning goes. So now I'm just gonna move this vinyl around a little bit and just reshape it, because if you use the same size and shape over and over, it's gonna kinda look like a cookie cutter, which if that's what you want, you know, go for it, but I try to mix it up a little bit more. So I'm gonna make this start right in that Y. And yeah, I like that. So I'll place one there, and I'm going to try and make it climb up and over the rear tires here. So I'm going to resize it again. And if you're very new to painting, that's fine. If you see down here, I have left and right I'm moving. If your number goes into the negative, it's essentially going to be a mirror of itself. So for a while, I would copy and paste to the other side of the car when I very first started. And I didn't realize you could just do that. And then I would copy it over. It was a big pain, and this is so much easier, and it's so simple to do. So again, I'm just going to try and find a spot where this fits in, where it looks pretty fluid. And again, this is all just do it to your own taste. If you like, you know, big stack of lightning like that, that's fine. I'm just doing this how I like it. We're just going to go ahead and finish up here. And I think that'll do it for this side of the car. Now, what we do, I don't know why I say we, it's just me. I like to hold down the right trigger and just highlight all of these. I'm going to hit the A button and group these together. So now, say I thought I need to move these up a little, but I don't want to go through and move each and every individual one. I'm going to grab the one I just grouped together, change the position, and I can move it all together at once, up and down. So I'm actually okay with where it was, so I'm just going to leave it. But now the next step for the lightning is we need to decide what color we want the lightning to be. Now, I typically leave the base bright white. For this video, I will do something a little different, just mix it up a little. But what gives the lightning its color is actually the glow around the lightning. And by glow, I mean we'll go over here and do the gradient shapes tab. And we're going to go down here and pick this one right here. The reason I picked this one over this one is the center of that is very dense. And we're actually going to turn the transparency down a lot on this one because we want it to have a really soft color. And I'm obviously not the first one to come up with this. I'm sure many people have. But when I thought of it the first time, it was when I was doing a lot of airbrushing, and I realized, you know, when you airbrush lightning, a very simple way to do it is you just get your base streak set, and you just sort of fog in really lightly with white, and you just blow color over that, then you go back through with your white on top. So I've kind of mimicked that look. When we're all said and done, it's going to have the same look, and it's going to have the same idea to it, but we get to skip a few steps because video games are awesome. So I'm going to come down here and just put this right at the base, right at the beginning. And always, always, we're going to be changing the size of this just throughout the lightning bolt. But I usually try and stick with like an oval shape. And also right here is when we're going to want to mess with the transparency. Because see, right now it just looks like a basic gray oval. And we don't really want that oval look. So we're going to turn the transparency down. And you're still going to obviously have a bit of an oval shape just because the edge has to feather out somewhere. But we're going to take care of that later. So if you really, this is, again, just do it to your own taste. I'm going to leave it right about 40. And then I'm just going to spin this around and make sure I get most of the lightning bolt covered. By that I mean, you know, twist this around and just make sure I've got the gist of it, just like I said, covered up. And I'm going to use the same shape all the way through because eventually, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'm going to use the same shape all the way, whoops, didn't mean to skew there, all the way through the main body of the lightning, and we're going to adjust it as we go to the outer parts here. So this is actually getting to be a little big for here, so I'm just going to size it down a little. And again, just place it around. There is no perfect place to put it. It's always going to look a little bit wonky, so don't stress this too much at all. Just place it around to where you're basically covered. And all I'm doing here is just hitting that Y button and stamping these down just like before. I'm going to spin it just to try and match the radius of the lightning bolt. And that's really all you can do. So now that I've got to the end here, I'm going to take this last one I used, which is a little bit smaller than what we started with. And I'm going to basically make sure I hit all these stragglers that come off the edge. So like, I'll put one here, maybe about like that. And you don't have to cover every inch of the lightning bolt. Just get it close, you know what I mean? So like here, I'm just going to use one piece for all three of those little sticks coming off. And if you notice, as we're doing this, we're kind of changing the look of the lightning. I'm sorry, the look of the glow that we've put on. it kind of looked like a blobby mess that went through the middle of it here. But as we go through and add these little details on, it kind of muddies up the shape and makes it look a little bit more organic and not so cookie cutter. Which really, whenever I'm painting, I want to make stuff look as good as possible with as few steps, because I don't want to spend all day painting cars, you know what I mean? So again, we're just going to go through and kind of place these roughly, and I think that'll be good. And what we're going to do, we're going to hit and hold that right trigger and highlight all of your glows that you put on here. So I want every one of those to be highlighted. And then again, I'm going to group these up. Now, what has happened here is now my glowing part is on top of the base. I don't want that, so I'm going to hit the X button to cut it. Now when you cut it, if you look to the right where it says 6 out of 3000, above that is your clipboard. So I just cut that stuff, now it went to my clipboard. If I go over here on top of the base lightning and I hit the white button, it's going to paste on my clipboard right there. So now the white lightning itself is on top of the glow, which is what we want. So now is when we get to pick our color. So typically I'll go with like a red or a blue. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that button. I meant to go down to change color. So honestly, if you're wanting to be as realistic as possible, you know, like a bright blue or something, I guess is pretty realistic. But honestly, you can do whatever you want. So I'm going to go with blue is typically my favorite. So I'm going to stick with like a bright blue right about there. Now, part of the issue is it's kind of hard to see the blue. So what you can do, take your main lightning bolt and also change its color and go over here to where the blue, this will make it match the glow, you know, super close. But instead, if we just come down a couple of notches, it's gonna be like we're having a white one again, but there is a tinge of blue, and that does help make the blue color pop out a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And also, if you want to soften your glow even more, which I don't think this one, it could use it a little. So what we're gonna do, I'll show you it anyway. We're gonna go and select a new layer, get you the vinyl shapes, and we're gonna stay with the gradients, and we're gonna stay with this same shape, except now we're gonna make it the color of our background. So now what we're gonna do, wherever we feel like that blue needs to be softened, you can see where it flashes where we're at. I'm just gonna place it roughly where I think the blue needs to be softened. It'll kind of ease that edge, you know what I mean, so it doesn't look quite so bright and quite so oval shaped, because really all those glows, they're just ovals, and we're just trying to fade those out as best as we can. So we're gonna grab our new shades, group those as well, except we're gonna put those behind the base lightning but on top of the glow, so we keep that soft glow, but now we have a true bright base bolt. And that's basically the gist of it. Now, obviously we're going to put this on the other side of the car. We can just insert all from right to left, and there we go. I am going to remove the black there because we're going to paint the car when we're all done. But what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and do some lightning on the hood of the car too, and on the top. And what you can do, which sometimes I do, so I'll go ahead and do it here. I'm just going to highlight all of these. If you press and hold the left stick down and hit the X button, if you look to where our clipboard is at, and we've copied all three of these. So let's go to the top and just hit the Y button and paste that down. Whoops, I meant to grab that. We can just kind of move it to wherever we want it, and we've got a sick lightning bolt. So what we could do is just sort of start it here at the corner and let it streak across the hood. We could do two of them just sort of crossing each other. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spin this. And you want to be careful, because see, if I leave it right here, if you want it to make as close to sense as you can. You're going to have to put a little bit of the bolt on the left side of the car to make it more symmetrical or whatever. But I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to place it right there. I'm going to hit the Y button and stamp all of that at once. Move my camera up here and spin it a little bit. And again, these aren't going to be perfectly symmetrical, but basically what we're going to have is two lightning bolts sort of crossing on the car. So there you have it. And again, don't forget to take out your base there. And so I'm going to hit B and back out, and I will save it to the current car. And while it's saving, you can think about, on your next design what you want to do. Sometimes I'll have the lightning bolt start at the windshield and just crawl its way down the hood and then down both sides. Really, you can do whatever you want, and it's going to look pretty cool no matter what. So let's go ahead and paint this bad boy. I'm not going to use a manufacturer, but we are going to use just plain old black. Just plain old black. Sorry if there was a bit of an odd transition. We'll ignore it. So, there you have it. That is... Oh, you know what? Let's go a little extra step here. I know chrome's pretty cool. We just do black finish. Does that look better? I don't know. See, now this is really where you can just do your own thing. Maybe I'll do like the same blue as... Oh, see that blue? Without it being faded? Ew. So blue it hurts. Could go dark. I'm just going to leave them chrome. Chrome's always cool. But there you have it, you guys. That is the Lightning tutorial done on Horizon 4. Now, these same basic strategies and principles can be applied to every Forza game that there is. Maybe even some other racing games where you have a pretty good editor. I don't know. This is the only one I have reference to. So, there you have it. If you like what you saw, hit that like button, subscribe. Stick around for more tutorials and more Let's Play for Horizon 4. And as I collect more cars, I'm going to be doing tutorials on those cars. So thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe. I think I've said that a few times. Alright, bye.